Business Journal's coverage of the 2022 FIFA World Cup. My name is Joseph Amwakwata, and then without wasting much time, I'd like to introduce my guest for today's discussion. Right next to me is Mr. Prince Owusu, who is the head of web design at the Kente Business Journal. And next to him is Mr. Nana Kwame Kusi, who is the CEO of KT Tender Heights. And then we also have Nana Kwekudria, the CEO of Ajiman Consulting Services. So, gentlemen, welcome to today's discussion.
Absolutely.
So, as we have seen, we are almost done with the second round of games at the 2022 FIFA World Cup group stages. The African teams, out of 5 African teams, we've had all 5 teams play their second group games, and then we've had 3 of the 5 winning matches for the first time in the tournament. After Ghana, let me say, being the pioneers or the leaders with the goal scoring last week, we've had more goals from the African teams, and we've also had 3 wins from the African teams. What are your take on what it has been so far by the African teams?
Well, the African teams so far, relatively speaking, I think have been very average. I mean, nothing special to be, at the end of the day, we are proud of them, you know what I mean? There, but we haven't seen a breakthrough African country yet within the World Cup. We haven't seen that, okay, this is that African country that we feel confident that we can rally our true support, for. Of course, we're going to support all of them no matter what, but I think we are looking for that African team that is going to stand out to carry the African continent.
Okay, Mr. Kusi, when we look at the ability to score goals, it's been flowing in this second round of matches. Looking at Senegal having 3 goals, looking at Morocco scoring 2, Cameroon 3, Ghana 3. What has been the cause of change for these teams after the first round?
Okay, once again, let me say thank you, and let me say thanks to all of us.
Thank you.
And then our designer, and the cameraman, everybody, and yourself. It's been a while.
It's great always having you.
Thank you once again. Let me say this, my brother. We just started. We are in a new era, right? Good. So everything is changed. You know what I'm saying? So everything is going to change, and everything is changing now. So if you look at the African countries like Ghana, Morocco, things is changing. And the guys Ghana took them into the World Cup is like they are unknown people, they are unknown players. So in terms of scoring goals, people might be saying, oh, how come the boys can score goals? But look, they are proving to the world that, hey, we are ready, we are capable, and we can do it. So I'm not surprised because we have the opportunity to watch those guys outside when they play outside. So I'm not surprised. If we do our things well, like we all say, that something is going to happen. So in terms of goal scoring, we got a talent. We got the boys who play in the Champions League elsewhere. So if they bring that thing into their own motherland and they say they want to do it, they can do it. So it's not a new thing. What they have to do is they have to go out there, do what we're supposed to do, and do what they're supposed to do. So it's not a new thing to me, and it's not. I mean, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay. Prince, if you've been following this tournament keenly, you realize that there has been little respect for big names. Exactly with what happened yesterday with Morocco, between Morocco and Belgium. Morocco is ranked 22nd, Belgium is 2nd on the FIFA rankings, but when you watch that game, there was no respect for the Belgian team. What do you think is working for teams like Morocco and the other African teams?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So yesterday, when you watch the match, you see Morocco wanted to win. Because if they were able to lose yesterday, that means they can't qualify. So I think last week, they played against Croatia. Yeah, they did well, but unfortunately, it was draw. So yesterday, they needed to win, and they did. Coming this week, they have a match. So if they don't win the match, probably they are coming home. So they need to win. And I hope, they will do well.
Their next game is actually against Canada, and Canada is already eliminated. So Morocco is expected to, do well. Let's go to Cameroon's game. Nana Kwekudja, please. We just saw Cameroon, let me say, lose 3 precious points to Serbia. The game ended in a 3-3 draw. There's been issues about their goalkeeper being suspended from the team, and then some unconfirmed sources also claiming about issues between or a rift between the coach and then a few of the players. What do you think is going on with Cameroon, and is that translating onto their field of play?
Okay. Thank you, Ekwa. It's very interesting how this is happening, right? Ironically, it's almost like we expected one of those African teams to have some kind of a backroom problem. It's almost like a trait of these African countries to go into big tournaments and lose organization sense. Onana is a great goalkeeper. Okay, I take nothing away from that man at all. And whatever is happening between him and the Cameroonian executives, I think they should figure it out very, very soon and allow this young man to come in and help the country be very much relevant and stay in the competition. Because if they lose him, the way they played today with this goalkeeper, I mean, they conceded 2 goals that I believe if they had Onana, they wouldn't have conceded those type of goals. Organization has always been a problem for Africans. We have no respect for organization and its impact on efficiency and leading to results. And I think we should try to change that if we want to survive in this World Cup. Because if you're not efficient and if you're not united, you're not going to go far.
Okay. Nana Kusi, do you agree with Nana Kwekudria? Because looking at Cameroon's group, they're in a group with Brazil, Serbia, and Switzerland. And someone will say, apart from Brazil, Switzerland and Serbia are weaker European opponents. And Cameroon shouldn't be struggling so much with these 2 teams. Do you think the backroom staff issues is affecting the Cameroon team?
Yeah, once again, let me say thank you, my brother. And sure, why not? I agree with him to some extent, right? But to another point of view, we got to look at it in a different thing altogether, right? Coach taking players is a sole responsibility by the coach. So I pick you, I take you, I talk to you, I say, listen, I want you to be here for me. I rely on you, give you my trust, be in the post for me. So to what extent that you go telling the coach that I want to do this, I want to do that, coach, you have to do this. It's not, to some extent, it's not an respect to the coach. Right, you can't go to Maroon and tell Maroon that, listen, I just want to do this, I just want to do that, let me do it so that I'll get my way. No. He let the team bought you or buy you, called you to come and play for him, to fit into his team. So, to what extent? That is another aspect. The other aspect is, you guys play like a team. Because if you watch their game today, you can see that there's a loophole. I talked to my brother, I said, Nana, look, the Cameroon had a problem because the original goalkeeper is not in. He said, really? I said, yeah, man. Then he said, oh, I haven't seen, because I thought that as for Cameroon, their number 1 is Onana, and Onana is not in. Look at the 2 goals they conceded. It's a very shambolic and it's a very disgrace to Africa. We are not, let's not say it's about, we are Ghanaians, so now, we are Africans. We are talking about African countries. Yeah. They should go out there and perform very well. Cameroon is our brothers, right? So we have the same support we have for Ghanaians. We have to have the same support for them. For goalkeeper and the coach has an issue, it's not good. The other side of the coin, if the keeper who came on today could have exploited, it's like a plus to him. But you could see a big loophole, right? So it's about time we sort our things, our differences. Listen, let's fight in a room. When we come outside, we are one. At the end of the day, it's about Africa. It's not about Cameroon. That's all that I know, that I think, or that I want you to.
But what do you think about the issue of egos? Because if you look at Morocco, before the new coach came in, a player like Hakim Ziyech stated that he's not going to play if the previous coach was the coach of Morocco. But Hakim Ziyech was very instrumental in their win yesterday against Belgium.
That is what I was talking about. Me and my brother were having chit-chat behind the scene. I was telling him about, listen, in spite of everything, our elder sales, right? When you fight with your family member, you fight the home. When you come outside, you pretend as if you are one, because the victory is the ultimate thing. So let's fight it out. As soon as we go outside, we sort our differences. We perform or we do what the country supposed let us to do. So the Moroccan thing, I said, nah. When the guy included, I said, yeah, that's the plus because he know the job. If I cut my mask back, I remember 1982. I always say this to my brother. There's a guy called Paulo Rossi. When the Italian qualified the World Cup, he was in the prison. But the Italian then the Italian president said, listen, I want that boy to be number 9. And believe you me, every single game he scored and the Italian won the World Cup. So sometimes it got to a point where you ignore the character of the player, you ignore it. Listen, man, we had a fight, but let's go and kill it. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you be the ultimate responsibility to yourself. I know we were fighting, but in spite of everything, we put the fight aside. I choose you, go and perform, because at the end of the day, you're going to be one of the heroes. So there are certain things you have to look at it very well, and the coaches have to understand the players to the players have to give the due respect to the coaches. Because at the end of the day, the coach will go, the new player will be there. And you don't perform well, another player will come and, so when the disgrace come or when the defeat comes, it doesn't lie to you guys alone, but
everybody.
For all of us in Africa, that's what we're talking about. So that sometimes we just have to look at mother and daughter, son and father issue, then we sort it, then we move on as a continent, Okay.
So let's wrap up on the rest of the African continent. Let's finish up with Senegal. They bounced back after losing their opening group game, and then they won 3-0 against the host Qatar, ineffective, booting the host out of the tournament. What is your take on Senegal's comeback?
Yeah, so Senegal did well for Africans, but you see, when you look at the Qatar team, they don't have experience. So as a team like Senegal, you need to...
Qatar won the Asian Cup in 2019.
Yes, but this is the Senegal team that they won the AFCON. So basically, they need to win, and they did.
I think it's all credit to Senegal, so that we don't discredit their hard work at this stage. So let's move into Ghana's game so far. We have played 2 games at the World Cup. We've scored 5 goals. We've conceded 4. Nana Kwekuja, is that a good thing?
Is that a good thing? Well, that would depend on the type of goals we had conceded. You always want to learn from your mistakes, right? Were these goals earned goals or were they goals that we literally gave up, right? The Salisu penalty was questionable. Obviously, Baba Rahman, unfortunate trickery on the ball was also another cause of a goal that we conceded. And then when you look at the goals that we conceded today, literally, you had a North Korea fly like a plane, out of nowhere, and just he bulldozed. How do I put him? He bulldozed his way into at least 4 defenders or so. You know what I mean? That shows the hunger and how much he really wanted it. And I think our players, for some reason in this tournament, I'm still waiting on them to show that killer instinct. I don't like the fact that the coach is bringing in players when they are not completely warmed up, when we're playing at 100 degrees average Fahrenheit weather. We need these boys warming up. It's inevitable that you're going to make changes. Have these boys warm up for 20 minutes so their blood can be flowing and be compatible to other players when they're on the field.
Okay. So before we come to that, let's look at the general overview of the Ghana team. After the 2 games, Mr. Kusi, I want to come to you. After the 2 games, we can see that the team is a very fluid team. Right from the goalkeeper through to, the attackers. It's a very fluid team. It can change its dynamics in and out. Have you been impressed so far by how the coach is managing the materials that he has at hand?
Let me say yes and no. Right? Yes, being that we went out there with a low profile names, right? Yeah. That we Ghanaians, that we say, but the boys are not low profile. Because if you talk about Kudus Mohammed, he's floating out there. Party, Jordan, Amate, they are all great players. You know what I'm saying? The Bukhari, he's doing marvelous in the Serbian league. Just that we Ghanaians thought that I have to pick Nana because Nana is a master in logistics, whatever, and the console he knows. I have to pick this guy, my brother. He's a web. When it comes to that aspect, he's a perfect. We know them, and we didn't choose some of them, right? So the coach let us know that hey, these are the guys I want. They can deliver it for me. Yes, our first game were Portuguese. First half were like, the second half we came out, we did. You all know that it's a history. But our second game, like my brother said, look how we concede the goals. 2 minutes you concede 2 goals. What our defenders are doing. Baba Roman he's talking about. We said it, and look at what happened. We talk about Jeffrey Shaw. He is vindicated. We said about him. We are vindicated now. Today's game, we were control of it. We have taken all the everything. But look how we concede. So the no aspect is the coach changes sometimes. Like Nana said, you have to let the boys warm up. Let's say 30 minutes. It's not about 20 minutes. They have to heat up because it's a World Cup.
Yeah. If you know you are going to come on, you shouldn't be sitting down.
Nah, it's a World Cup.
Yeah.
Like Nana said, it's a World Cup.
Yeah.
So everybody who is coming to play the highest stage in the football. You know, so you let the boys train well. You take Jordan and you out. He is our man of the match. You take Kudus out. He's our playmaker. You don't take your key players, your best players out of the game and expect that your team will be performing well. So the no aspect is the changes are good. This is not the first time.
Yeah.
And you know, behold, you know you have only 3 games. Yeah. We have only 1 match left. So our next game, you do the same mistake. What are going to happen to us? And remember those guys that we are going to, although we haven't got them, but those guys you are going to play with them through their, listen, they have this goal mentality. So what are we doing? So the coach has to do the changes very well so that it will help Ghanaians and Africa as a whole.
So clearly, Ghana is having an issue of decision making from the aspects of the coach. We have we can see so many legends in the camp. You can see the likes of Sami Kufuor, Montari, you know, you can name them. What are they doing to help? Nana Kwekuja, what do you think they should be doing to aid Otuado? Because if you look at them, they are all in the same category. They were in 2016. They should be, you know, speaking to him.
You know, one thing about a coach on a contract is, you know, they take pride. You know, thank you again. But, you know, you've asked a very good question. You know, a lot of coaches, you know, who knows how they analyze advice? Sometimes it goes in one ear. I mean, I'm sure these guys are reaching out to him, but there seems to be a special interest agenda going on within the structure of the Ghana national team. Because I can only assume, because of what I'm seeing on the field, 2 + 2 is 4, and there are some things that's not adding up. I don't understand that you are up 3-2 and you remove a guy who can hold the ball and attract fouls and be able to waste time. I don't understand why you remove a guy that, yes, I understand has 1 yellow card, but at the same time is carrying the team on his back when it comes to offensive. Kudus alone can literally disrupt the whole defensive side of South Korea, while your team from the midfield to the defense gets a little break. You see, pressure busts pipes. You don't want to attract unnecessary pressure because your changes is creating a bunch of space and holes within the flow of the game. And that's exactly what we saw when he removed Jordan Ayew, who's a ball holder and a foul attractor. We saw what happens when we remove Kudos, who's able to split the game and just take on a bunch of defenders on his own and give your defense a break. You see, when he removed these two, soccer is a game of inches. When you remove them, you have literally opened up a can of space for the opposition to explore, and that's what happened. And I don't know why Chris Hutton, he's supposed to be the tactician. what kind of a tactician is he when he's not seeing that when you up 3-2, you're supposed to hold
Because
the ball.
clearly this
and
is the
waste
same
time.
thing that happened in the Portugal game.
Yes.
So
What
we
did
should
they have
be learning
against
something
Kudus,
from it.
who has proven and shown that he wants to carry the team? In the battlefield, the guy who fights the hardest, you support him.
Exactly. We just rally behind him and then we move on. So moving on, let's come back to the
This was a
players.
do or die. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This was a do or die game.
Exactly.
So who cares if Kudus have 1 yellow card? Let him complete the game. We'll figure out the next game.
Yeah. You know, it's a World Cup, and then everybody needs to be
You
on
let
their A game.
unwarmed players who want to be.
The same way Ghana is eager to win, it's the same way South Korea is also eager to
South
win.
Koreans, they
So-
show grit and guts.
Yeah.
You understand? For
you,
90
you
minutes.
you can never take them for granted because the Asians are fighting hard. You look at Iran, look at Japan. They are not here to play, just as we're also here with a goal. The same way they also have a goal. So let's come to the players themselves, those playing the ball. From the 2 games that has been played so far, we haven't seen much of Thomas Partey. It's true, it's his goal that brought us to the World Cup, but he's not been showing up. What's wrong with him?
Yeah, I think Thomas had an injury. So basically, he's not helping us. So we need to get somebody who can also hold the ball. He's the best player, why not? But there are some times we need to change him. Because I can see he can't play the 90 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, so looking at his do you think is a question about his commitment or something is wrong with him? Because he is very, very, below expectation. That I could see.
Yeah, my brother, thank you once again. It's not like that. I see him like my brother said, a prone injury player, right? But the sole rules, the role lies on the coach, right? Like Nana was saying, if you knew that or you know that if this boy is not going to help you, bring the one who's going to help.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's forget about the big names. Sometimes, although big names count, but we have a lot of hungry guys who want to do something for themselves and do something for the continent and for the country. So if Partey is not playing well, although our first match I didn't see him, but today I saw his passes, one or two passes.
That clearly shows you that he was very, very, inefficient in the first game.
Yeah, sometimes you can't go with the big boys, right? Yeah. But sometimes too, you have to let them know it's about one-on-one, like Nana said. Yeah. We don't understand. Me and Manana, we don't understand why Kudus was substituted. If Dede today, I said yes. Yeah. But Jordan was the one who take on the defenders.
The playmaker.
Yes, he and the Kudus. So they're supposed to play like 90 minutes, right? And then this Kamar Dean, nobody says he's a fun player, he's a young, talented player, up-and-coming player, but today he is a passenger as he came to the game. So he was nowhere to be found. Yeah. He could feature to the same thing. So my position is the coaching system. We got to know. Maybe we got to figure out. Maybe there's a problem somewhere. We don't know. We're sitting outside, but those inside who know. So if there's something wrong, they should have let us know and stop breaking our heart, because it's a heartbreaking.
Yeah, this is the World Cup, and we don't want to have our hearts broken. It's a fresh opportunity for us to and for the players as well to put themselves out there, to market themselves. So I think the coach also has a role to play in terms of giving these players the opportunity to be able to sell themselves on the biggest stage in terms of the World Cup. Nana Kwekudja, looking at our captain, Andre Ayew, from the first game and the second game, what's been your overview of his performance?
I think he's a second half player. I think either he plays 45 minutes in the first half or he plays 45 minutes in the second half. He can choose. He's not a 90-minute player. He's not a full-time player, okay? His game is being played at a high intensive level. This game reminds me of when we played Germany in 2014.
Exactly.
Almost every game feels like that. Okay?
Yeah.
It's like a high intensity game, and we need kids like Materi Lamte with a lot of energy and heart and speed.
Someone says he has 3 hearts.
Yes. I mean, the boy has energy, right? So when you talk about a captain, all due respect to the captain, he should come and be a captain for 45 minutes. You know, I think he can do 45 minutes with his experience and skill set. But, you know, his leadership should not be about 90 minutes on the field.
I wouldn't want us to end this discussion without talking about the Ayew brothers. You know, before the World Cup, even before any collapse, Ghanaians seems to have an issue with these 2 people. Yet still, they're always delivering for us. Is this the opportunity to let Ghanaians keep quiet?
I think the people of Ghana must understand that 2 + 2 is not 5, it's 4. And God didn't give us the vision. God didn't give us the vision to see the future. We can only assume what the future will be like. So we judge people by their track record. The Ayew family have contributed tremendously to Ghana football, and that is their track record fact. So we shouldn't be out here disrespecting them at any level. What I'm saying is, as a coach, we should be able to manage them to the best of our ability for the best benefit of Ghana.
Okay.
That's all.
Mr. Kusi, you want to add up?
Yeah, like Nana said, I don't agree with you, right?
Yeah.
I have my stance, right? They should start every game. They should start at least. He has to play more than 45 minutes. He has to play like 60, 70 minutes. Because,
I don't know if you can play 7 minutes.
Because
No way.
Because his contribution in the team is a plus.
Yeah.
Today, I prefer him to be changed after the 70 minutes. But on our first game, he's supposed to play 90 minutes.
His work rate was fire.
People don't know. These days, the football, there's a lot of dynamics in
Yeah.
football. People see football in a different way.
Yeah.
And their contribution, like Ghanaian football, like Nana said, is a great. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And you can see them when they're playing for the national team. They play their heart out. And Dede has to play like 60, 70 minutes. Jordan needs to give more opportunity. You know, there's not, you know, all days are not equal. One day somebody might flop and here and there. But when it comes to the accuracy, and he's a leader. He's a leader. So he has to be, every match he has to start, unless he's injured.
Yeah.
Aside that, he has to play more than 45 minutes. Because his contribution in the team, look at the changes the coach did. Coach made on our first game. As soon as he changed the Kudus and the Dede, in 2 minutes they scored. But today's game, the way we consider 2 goals is our defense. If you look at it, when I was talking to Nana, I said, listen, as soon as the coach change Jordan, the pressure will come up on us.
And that's what happened.
Okay, so that's it with the Ayew brothers. I want us to wrap up. Let's talk about the new guys that have been brought into the team. We have the likes of Inaki Williams, Salisu Mohammed. We've not seen much of Inaki Williams. Is his inclusion being justified in this tournament?
Inaki, I'm okay with him.
We
I don't have no problem with Inaki. It's because the way we use him, right? Our midfielder is supposed to supply Inaki because he has a pace, he can run, he can take on the opponent's defenders, right? But we are not supplying, we are not giving him the balls. So as for me, Inaki is a fun player.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic player, he's a nice striker. As long as we use him like this, we want to see empty Inaki. But if we use him like the way the Atletico Bilbao team use him, we will see much differences. Because if you get the ball, you can see that on the field of play, he's so comfortable with the ball, he can take down defenders, but we don't supply him balls. So Inaki is good. Tariq Lamptey, I said he had 3 hours, he's good. Salisu,
massive.
Yeah, but he's okay. Yeah. The new guys that we included, they are also nice. It's just that the boys, some of them are, a little bit jittery. Seriously. Yeah. Today, I didn't see Kamaradini at all. Yeah. But my best of all is Kudus and the Summit.
Oh, great.
The team need a mental shift. We are at war. They need to understand that we are at war. And on
talking about that, I want you to wrap up on Kudus Mohamed first, his work rate so far, and then how best we can, take advantage of him.
I'm just saying. Okay, here's my advice. Okay, a World Cup is about numbers, 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 numbers. The player that shows you the most numbers shows you the most commitment.
Yeah.
Kudus have scored 2 goals, showing you his commitment level of carrying the Black Stars. Outside of that, he's just a fine player. He's a player with a lot of energy. He plays defense, and he understands how to change the game. In this high intensity or high level soccer or football, you need players to be able to innovate on the field. And Kudus have shown that he can innovate on the field to make a difference. I think he's worth easily close to $200 million after the World Cup. And I'm not sure if some people are jealous of that or what, and they're trying to suppress him, but they should let the boy play, have a great World Cup. If you want to protect him, let the referee do the job on the field. Let the referee protect him on the field. But you don't try to take him out when you have 25 minutes to play. It doesn't make sense. He's carrying the Ghana team, not anybody else. He's carrying the Ghana team, and we should let him do that.
Okay, so wrapping up on today's conversation, what should the leaders of the Ghanaian team be thinking at this point? What is your advice to the coach and the technical team ahead of a final group game, which is also, people have targeted the revenge game against Uruguay?
2 advices. First and foremost, warm your players up early. Warm them up on the bench. Warm them up on the bench. At least 30 minutes, as Uncle was saying, 30 minutes before they even get on the field. Warm them up. Warm them up, because this is a high level of soccer. You can even risk them getting hurt if they're not properly warmed up. But you put too much pressure on them when they're not warmed up, and they have to keep up with people who've been playing for like 80 minutes or more than 60 minutes. That's my first one. Number 2, allow that boy Kudus to play. He's a star boy. He is a world-class player who is having a fantastic World Cup already. Let the boy shine.
Let him shine. Mr. Kusi, advice.
Yeah, thank you once again, my brother. The coach has to listen. Yeah, because like we said earlier, he had Muntari, he had Tim Apia, he had Richard Kinsey, Sammy Kufo. He has to listen because he's not the only one who has a brain.
Yeah.
But somebody might say that he's the ultimate sole responsibility, right? He taking responsibility of our team. So we hold him responsible, right? So he has to listen. That's why he been paid for.
Yeah.
But in spite of that, he has to listen. Number 2, he has the tactically on our second half, we are not good. Changes is not good. These changes sometimes, it kills us. Because he let us consider early goals and cheap goals. It's not going to help us. If you are going to the World Cup and concede the way we've been conceding, we'll come home.
Yeah.
Because our next opponent, they play like us. They play like us.
Yeah. And we also have a bone to contend with.
We have to win that match
Yeah.
at all costs. So we have to, tactically, he has to change. So he has to listen.
Okay.
And those behind him, they have to feed in positive thoughts.
Yeah.
If we're able to do that, and the playing team too, they have to kill themselves for Africa and for Ghana as a whole.
Yeah.
That's my advice.
Okay, Prince. What do you have to tell them?
Yeah, so I have only one advice for the technical team and the coach, that they need to select the best players for our next game so that we can win. If we don't win the match, that means we are definitely coming home, and we need to progress to the next stage. So that's my only advice. We should select the best players for the game.
Okay. We need to progress to the next stage, and clearly that is every Ghanaian's goal at this point in time. Ghana has definitely proven that we deserve better, and we are much, much more better than being ranked 61st on the FIFA ranking. My name is Joseph Amwakwata, and this has been the KBJ discussion on the FIFA World Cup. Stick and stay with us. Catch us same time next week as we bring you a lot more discussion from our round table. Thank you.